Hi everyone, welcome back for the 2013 NFL season. It's finally here. My name is Gio for the gioknows YouTube channel. I'm going to be giving you my very best picks every week for football, and we're going to together take the man's money. I'd first like to thank all of you for subscribing to my channel, and thank you as well for leaving all those nice comments. I really appreciate that, and congratulations to the winners of the gioknows Awards. I do a video every year in 5 different categories for people who make videos like this, and I'll leave a link in the bottom in the description section. If you haven't seen the video, you can check it out. And special thanks to all of those who nominated the prognosticators and who voted for them. I really appreciate that. Now, here are my picks for week 1. The first game we're going to look at has Kansas City going to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars are 4-point dogs at home. Kansas City only won 2 games last year, but they really underperformed. That team has 6 Pro Bowlers on their roster. They've brought in Andy Reid, the head coach from Philadelphia. He's now the boss running things in Kansas City. That's going to be a big improvement. They also traded for Alex Smith, the quarterback from San Francisco, who was leading the NFL last year in pass completion percentage before he got hurt. He's going to be replacing Matt Castle. And they also drafted a left tackle with the first overall pick. It's really going to help the offensive line. There's a very good trend involving Blaine Gabbert, the quarterback for Jacksonville. In games that he started for Jacksonville last year at home, the Jaguars went 0-5. He actually went 5-0 on the road in games that he started, so keep that as a note for the next time. But in games that he starts at home, Jacksonville never covers. So, you know what? Let's lay the points. Take Kansas City -4. The second game we're going to look at has my Minnesota Vikings going to Detroit, where the Lions are 5.5-point favorites. The Minnesota Vikings have won 22 of the last 26 games versus Detroit straight up. Do you know how I know this? Go to my website, gioknows.com, and click on Tools and click on Spread Analyzer and type in Minnesota versus Detroit, and you'll see 22 out of the last 26 games they played, Minnesota has won. Now, will they win this game? Maybe, maybe not. But that is a lot of points. So you know what? Take those points. Take Minnesota +5.5. The third game has Oakland going to Indianapolis. The Colts are 9.5-point favorites at home. Oh dear, the Oakland Raiders are in a lot of trouble. Let's just keep this short. Lay the points. Take Indianapolis -9.5. And our fourth game has Arizona going to St. Louis, where the Rams are 4.5-point favorites at home. Arizona only won 5 games last year, but they did win their first 4 coming out of the gate. They have a very good defense. Unfortunately, their offense was last in almost every category, and Arizona's defense still ranked 11th overall despite being on the field for 65 minutes a game. St. Louis has made a couple of changes. They've let Danny Amendola go, very good receiver when he's healthy. They also let Steve Jackson, their longtime running back, walk away. They do bring in a highly touted wide receiver, Tavon Austin. I think that's his name. You know what? A very good player, but I'm not sure if he's going to make a big impact in his very first game, let alone the first season. So you know what? Let's take the points. Take Arizona +4.5. Here are my over-under plays for this week. First game we're going to look at has Tampa Bay going to New York to take on the Jets. That number is 39.5. Darrelle Revis returns to his old stomping ground. First game back is against the Jets. Wow, what a coincidence. Neither of these teams' offenses scare anybody else. The Buccaneers really upgraded their secondary from last year, and the Jets, of course, have a very good defense. They're going to be starting Geno Smith at quarterback. His very first game. I don't expect a lot of offense in this game. The only problem I might see is if there's a defensive turnover or two, but you really can't factor that in. You know what? Let's take under the 39.5. The second game has Cincinnati going to Chicago, where the number is 41.5. Cincinnati may have the best defense in the entire AFC, and last year Chicago gave up the third fewest points in the league. So let's take under 41.5. The third game, we talked about it earlier, has Arizona at St. Louis. That number is 41. 8 of the last 10 games that these two teams have played each other have gone under. So let's take under 41. And the fourth game has Green Bay going to San Francisco. That number is 48.5. The last 3 times these teams have played each other have all gone in the 50s, including that playoff game last year where there was, I believe, 86 points scored. And San Francisco had 579 total yards in that game, and Colin Kaepernick set a record for rushing by any quarterback ever with 181 yards. I expect a lot of offense, so let's take over the 48.5. I'm going to let my straight up pick scroll just beside me here, and we'll talk about teams that you might pick straight up if you're in a suicide pool. And for a very good video on who to pick in a suicide pool and how to win one, check out my video. I'll leave a link in the description below on how to win your suicide pool. New England is at Buffalo. The spread there is -10. I don't normally like to take road division favorites in a suicide pick. I would avoid that one. And I realize that Geno Smith is a rookie starting his first game, but still, with all the changes in New England, you might want to avoid that one. Tennessee is at Pittsburgh. The Steelers are 7-point favorites at home. I believe Tennessee beat Pittsburgh last year, but you know what? There could be a revenge factor here, so you might want to take Pittsburgh. Seattle is a real sexy pick this year to go all the way to the Super Bowl, and a lot of you might consider that. But, you know, Seattle is a very good team at home, not so good on the road, so I would avoid that game. We talked about Green Bay at San Francisco. The Niners have had their way with Green Bay the last couple of games, but there could be some revenge there. I would avoid that one too. Minnesota's at Detroit. The Lions are 5.5-point favorites. We mentioned that one earlier. If you watch my video, just go to rule number 7. That's all I'll say on that game. The best pick, if you're in a suicide pool this week, will be Oakland at Indianapolis. The Colts are 9.5-point favorites here. I don't think Oakland has much of a chance, especially on the road. In my suicide pool, I will be taking the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. If you have any questions, please tweet me at gioknows and check out my website, gioknows.com. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and leave a comment below. For the GeoKnows YouTube channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.